Hey YouTube, Muckluck here, and these are the patch notes for August 22nd, 2023. These came out the exact same day that the Secrets of the Obscure launch happened. There's also some additional notes that happened down at the bottom, and I thought they were worth covering. So, starting from the top, Secrets of the Obscure. With the end of the Final Dragon cycle, new threats and archaic secrets emerge from deep within the mists to challenge Tyria. The Wizard's Tower has floated above the small hamlet of Garenhall for generations, a silent sentinel watching over the town and its residents. With the tower's sudden disappearance, marked by the arrival of a mysterious group calling themselves the Astral Ward, rifts appear across the world, spelling out unfamiliar horrors. While resting from the grueling ordeals they faced over the past several years, the commander is pulled into the mystery surrounding these events. They will come face to face with the Cryptis, a collection of demonic beings and desires with malevolence far above what they have encountered before, and meet the ancient wizard's court, unearthing a millennia of conflict and facets of Tyrian history, long protected by Isgarin and his bevy of fantastical magi. Isgarin is the head wizard in the Wizard's Tower. Skybound and headed for the into the fractured magic lining the Tyrian horizon, the commander must harness the power of the Heart of the Obscure. That's the orb thing that you see your character holding in a lot of the cinematics and the trailers that they have released, for those who don't know. Master new abilities and make new allies as they combat Tyria's latest menace and uncover secrets of the Obscure. Oh, they said the thing. New Masteries. Heart of the Obscure Research. Once the Heart of the Obscure is obtained, you will begin to master its abilities, allowing you to deal with the Cryptis by finding and closing rifts. It will also allow you to interact with useful objects in the Wizard's Court to create updrafts, activate ley lines, and open treasure chests. Create updrafts. I feel like this was a little misleading because after playing it yesterday, it's not like you can just create them out of thin air. There are set points, and there's a gadget that's like updraft generator. It allows you to interact with that to make an updraft in a specific location. So it's kind of like a jumping mushroom, you know, it's basically just to block you from progressing into certain areas before you get that mastery. The first mastery tier grants a new mastery skill that allows you to scan for Cryptis rifts and guides you to them, even while mounted on your Skyscale. You can use your standard mastery skills keybind to activate this new skill, or you can set a specific keybind for it in your settings. Flight training. As you'll be using a Skyscale extensively in this expansion, new masteries are available to enhance the capabilities of your Skyscale and Griffin. Your Skyscale will be able to spit fireballs to deal with threats in the air. Both aerial mounts will gain the ability to use updrafts and ley lines across all of Tyria. Previous Skyscale mastery skills, such as air rescue and wall launch, will be available through this mastery line for players who don't have it unlocked, and the skills will be further upgraded for players, who already have them unlocked. I myself have already gotten the new wall launch, so I've got both versions of wall launch since yesterday, and it is a little bit noticeable when you grab onto a wall, when your endurance is changed into the stamina bar or whatever it's called, that exchange happens a bit more quickly, and when you launch off the wall, you do go higher up than before. It's not like a massive difference, but it is noticeable. Combat launch will allow you to use your mount button to leap into the air out of combat and on your Skyscale. The skill is also available in the Mastery Skills panel if you wish to use it in combat. On that note, going here, so if you use combat launch, it actually gets a button down here, which that involves making yet another hotkey down here, so I would never do that, plus the scan for rift button I've got down there right now. However, it also goes onto your normal Skyscale mount button, so if you use it, if you just click the mount Skyscale button and you're in combat, it will use it, which is good. However, that also, it does have a cooldown. I believe it has a, let me just confirm here, I think it's a 3-minute cooldown. Yeah, 180-second cooldown. So if you're about to leave combat and you hit the mount button a second early, 3-minute cooldown is used up. So you got to be careful with that once you get that mastery. The Astral Ward makes extensive use of Skyscales, granting players who have not previously unlocked their own Skyscale mount access to a temporary use of Skyscales, as well as a new route to obtaining it permanently. Progressing the new Flight Training Mastery line will offer a new series of collections for unlocking the Skyscale mount. Completing this new collection will then unlock an additional collection to earn a unique Skyscale skin. Astral Ward. Working with the Astral Ward will gradually provide you with access to their provisions and amenities. Unlocking the Astral Ward Mastery line will give you a new home away from home with restful experience bonuses, new crafting recipes to help you against your fight against the Cryptis, and a unique armor set. Finishing this mastery will also be essential to earning the new legendary obsidian armor that will become available in the future. To be clear here, because I saw a little bit of confusion on home away from home, that does not mean a new home instance. It means kind of like what Arborstone was. It's a new hub, or Eye of the North. So there's a section of the Wizard's Tower in the new expansion. I won't show it on stream just because I don't want to spoil anybody who doesn't want to see that. But it's essentially like Arborstone. It's a hub that's got like a whole bunch of things in one area. Now, I will say if you already had access to like Mistlock, it's more spread out than that. So I personally found it like less convenient than Mistlock, where everything is packed in a much tighter place, unless I needed access to like the new strike missions or something, which you can't get to from Mistlock. Let's see. And finishing this mastery will also be essential in earning the new legendary obsidian armor that will become available in a future release. Wizard's Vault. The Wizard's Vault is a new streamlined legendary reward system for level 80 players that combines the best elements of the daily login and daily achievement systems, allowing you to play Guild Wars 2 the way you want to, whether it's PvE, play versus play, World v. World, or mix, and earn a wide variety of exciting rewards by doing so. So let's really quickly go back into the game here. I'm sorry, I think I wasn't showing the text there. I'll bring it back in just a second. So the Wizard's Vault, you get a button up here at the top left. I'm going to click on this and open it. And with this open, the first time you open it, it will look like this. It'll say like which type of things do you want to do. And you can check or uncheck things, and that will influence what quests you get. So like last night, I had it set like this, and then I later unchecked that and it said, okay, this change will take, this will be reflected in the next refresh. So right now I've got a World v World thing, but since I just changed that, if I leave it like this, I won't get World v World stuff starting tomorrow. So you can kind of choose what you want, and there's always one here for just logging in. There's some for weekly, and then there's some special ones as well. And see, I just got a few things right there. And then you can go to the rewards tab here and buy things that you like. Now, if you're on your main account, you're going to get a lot of points, and some of them without even trying, like some of these dailies. However, if you are logging into alt accounts, just getting those 5 daily AA points each day, it's not much. It's not much. Like, that's 150 a month, and it takes 60 to buy a clover, so you could get 2 clovers a month just from the login rewards. And you used to be able to get, 7 clovers, a bunch of laurels, etc., etc., etc. By the way, this right here, bag of laurels, mouse over it, contains 1 laurel. That's bag of laurel. Anyway, that one bugged me. That one bugged me. The Legendary Weapon Starter Kit, however, to say something nice about the Wizard's Vault, this is insane. This right here, if you click it, there's an eye right here, and you can see what's in it, contains a Precursor, a Gift of Might, or a Gift of Magic, and the themed Legendary Gift. That's over half the Legendary. That's over half of a Bolt, Bifrost, Meteorologicus, and Quip. In the case of Bifrost, this skips having to level a max level Chef, this skips having to level a max level Artificer, and it skips the 100 gold step. So this is actually pretty freaking nice. So, shout out to that thing. So that's the Wizard's Vault. New objectives will appear daily and weekly. Players may choose which game modes they like their objectives to be generated from, as I just showed you. Any mix of PvE, World v World, and PvP is available. Additionally, there will be one-time special objectives that will appear to everyone, which is like the Beat the Story, which you just saw me collect. I got like 500 points for that. Completing objectives will grant Astral Acclaim, which players can spin directly in the Wizard's Vault panel to select from a large variety of rewards. Rewards include Wizard's Vault exclusive cosmetics, such as armor and weapon skins, as well as items that were formerly exclusive to the gem store, like mount skins and build template expansions. Wizard's Vault rewards will reset each quarterly release, so that's like every 3 months. Wizard's Vault exclusive rewards will be available forever in the Legacy Shop, which will open in the future alongside the Wizard's Vault first update. General daily achievements and daily login rewards have been retired. This does not include any game mode specific daily achievements, such as Fractal Dailies. Progress towards the Daily Completionist achievement is preserved and will continue to be awarded when claiming the meta reward for daily reward Wizard's Vault objectives. Allowing for some minor balance changes, the rewards available from the daily login are now part of the Wizard's Vault. Rewards that were previously earned from daily login rewards can be purchased from the Wizard's Vault using Astral Acclaim, which again, it's not that bad getting them if you're on your main account that is doing stuff each day, but if you're like thinking alt accounts, like, oh, I've got 70 alt accounts I log in each day, which I don't really get, I'm not invested in this, I'm just telling the news. It's much worse for them. So you do have to be actively playing the game to enjoy those services on any real amount. Okay, let's see, where were we? Progress toward... This does not include game mode specific achievements like fractals. Progress for daily completion is preserved and continue to be awarded when claiming the meta award reward for daily Wizard's Vault objectives. And rewards that were previously earned from daily login rewards can be purchased in the Wizard's Vault. Yes, okay, so we did cover that whole section. Wonderful. All right, let's talk about relics. The effects of the end of the Dragon Cycle have reverberated throughout Tyria. In Guild Wars 2 Secrets of the Obscure, this has created a new class of magical artifact called Relics. Relics are a new equipment type that can grant a large variety of special effects in combat, with each one aimed at augmenting a particular style of gameplay. Most can be acquired through crafting and trading, but some can be acquired through achievements in Guild Wars 2 SotO. Try a few out and see which relics fit your playstyle. Relics will be updated farther during our quarterly release with the release of Legendary Relics. We'll provide more details on this in the future, but any player possessing Legendary runes will be granted progress toward their Legendary Relics for each Legendary rune they've acquired. Along with the emergence of relics, some of the magic that once powered runes has changed into something different. Equipping a complete set of runes will now grant you bonus attributes instead of a special effect. So let's go back into the game real quick. I'm going to swamp over to, okay, this is my healing druid build. So right here, druids for a long time have loved using Rune of the Monk, and you can see the Rune of the Monk there on the screen. The 6-piece bonus used to be whenever you gave someone a boon, you got a stacking buff that increased your healing output. Now, it just gives plus 125 healing. I then got the Relic of the Monk, which, as you can see over here, it has that stacking boon. It is slightly different. And so you might be going like, oh, well, this is just like a buff because it just moved that over there, and now you also have some healing power over here. And so in some cases, not much changed. In other cases, it really did. I've seen a lot of people that like, oh, I was using Golomancer rune or Rock Dog rune, and I can't summon those anymore. It makes me sad because not every 6-piece thing got turned into a relic. There was like, I think there was like 100 different runes, and like 40 of them got turned into relics. Now, not all of them had like a big thing that was an active at the end, but many of them did. An additional thing with relics that this can be easily fixed, but I'm just pointing out something that I've seen, is the tooltips are very, very vague. For example, grant yourself and nearby ally super speed for 2 seconds when you enter or exit stealth. It doesn't say the radius of it. I don't know how close people need to be for me for that. Relic of the Wizard's Tower. After using elite skill, shield yourself with a projectile reflecting barrier while summoning a wave that pulls enemies toward you. Great. What is the duration of the barrier? What is the range of the pull? It doesn't say. And almost all the relics are like this. They're all missing some crucial information when I look at these. Inflicts fear and poison on nearby enemies. Great. What duration is the fear? What is the range of the fear? How many stacks of poison? What's the duration of the poison? The range of the poison application? It just doesn't say. They're so vague. They're so very vague. Now, again, we're talking tooltips. This would be easy for them to fix. However, it does need to be fixed. Right now, a lot, testing would need to be done with a lot of these because they don't fully say what they do. So minor frustration there, but there you go. That's something I've noticed. Weapon Master Training. Early in Guild Wars 2 SotO's story, players will gain access to ancient knowledge preserved by a Weapon Master long ago. Weapon Master Training allows players to equip weapons that were previously only usable by their profession's elite specializations, opening up many more options for your character's combat style. So, really quick going into my game. So right here is a build, and you can see I'm wielding a dagger. That is a Soul Beast dagger. However, I am a druid right now. So that is Weapon Master Training for anyone who's missed it. I have got another video. It's a 1-minute long video that shows exactly where to go talk to the guy if you need to get Weapon Master Training. I uploaded it last night. If you somehow missed it, because I've talked to many people that somehow like beat the whole story and missed it. It's just one dude tucked away in a corner you got to talk to. It's there if you need it. Strike missions. Guild Wars 2 SotO brings with it 2 new strike missions, Cosmic Observatory and Temple of Phoebe. These are based on epic encounters from the expansion story and unlocked by completing the related story chapters. I was purely focused on doing the story yesterday, and I have not attempted the strikes yet. As soon as I am able to conquer those and I feel like I've learned them well enough, I will make a get-to-the-point guide for you guys just like I always do. I like that collection to be complete, and got 2 more to make now. Fractal Misluck Instability changes. Vengeance fixed an issue that caused players to become afflicted with weakness when their own boons were removed. This fix prevents Aegis from applying weakness when it blocks a strike. Toxic Trail fixed an issue that prevented the exposed effect from being applied when a Toxic Trail attack was blocked. No Pay No Gain fixed an issue that caused boon duration to affect the duration of boons applying to enemies by No Pay No Gain. Oh god. Stripping Might applied by No Pay No Gain now grants 10 stacks of Might for 6 seconds. Stripping Might from other sources still only grants 1 stack. Toxic Sickness. The warning for Toxic Sickness, that's the throw up thing, includes a shrinking ring around the player to help indicate when the vomit attack will fire. That's good. I know lots of times you definitely kind of just have to like get a feel for it, because it was just, you'd get the cone and it would just stay there, stay there, stay there, stay there, stay there, fire. So I think this is a nice change. Bug fixes, and the Aetherblade Fractal fixed an issue that allowed a large amount of content in the Fractal to be skippable. Shattered Observatory. In the final boss encounter, Curved Shot on normal mode and Solar Bolt on challenge mode projectiles are now destroyed when blocked. Fixed an issue that could cause the final boss's Determined effect to be removed earlier than intended during reactor phases. Underground Facility fixed an issue that could cause the Legendary Dredge's Power Suit fixated effect to swap targets more frequently than intended. I believe that's the guy that you're like trying to bait to follow you underneath the buckets. Profession skills. Elementalist. Cyclone can no longer strike the same enemy more than once per use. Lightning Orb, reduce the number of projectiles fired from interval from 2 to 1. Increase the power coefficient from 0.36 to 1.0. So half the strikes, but almost triple the power coefficient. The skill now deals 10% less damage on each subsequent hit against the same target, down to a minimum power coefficient of 0.05. Tempest Transcendent Tempest increased the damage bonus from 15% to 25% in PvE only. Weaver Swift Revenge reduced the damage bonus from 15% to 10% in PvE. Catalyst Deploy Jade Sphere reduced the power coefficient from 0.5 to 0.4 in PvE. Engineer. Engineers without Hollowsmith Elite spec equipped will now use separate versions of sword skills. Those skills have been adjusted as follows. Sun Edge increased the power coefficient slightly in PvE and slightly in PvP World v. World. The exact numbers are on the screen. Sun Ripper increased the power coefficient slightly in all game modes. Gleam Saber increased power coefficient very slightly in all game modes. Refraction Cutter increased the number of blades fired from 1 to 2, and Radiant Arc increased the quickness duration from 2 to 3. For anyone who doesn't play Hollow, their sword skills change based on how much heat they have built up with their class mechanic. So essentially, if you've got a Scrapper that's using the Hollow Sword because of the Weapon Master training, they won't have access to the heat mechanic, so they can't access those sword skills, which is why they're doing this. Mesmer. Unstable Blade Storm fixed an issue that would sometimes prevent the skill from dealing damage if 2 Blade Storms were active at the same time. Necromancer Nightfall increased the cooldown from 20 to 30 seconds in World v. World only. I believe that's the Greatsword skill that gets rid of boons in an area. Grasping Darkness increased cooldown from 25 seconds to 30 seconds in World vs. World. Reaper Infusing Terror reduced cooldown from 25 to 20 seconds in World v. World. Soul Spiral reduced cooldown from 30 seconds to 20 seconds in World v. World. Ranger Solar Beam, which is, I believe that's the, isn't that Staff 1? Yeah, that's the laser pointer. Reduced the power coefficient per strike from 0.3 to 0.25 in World v. World. Okay, I'm surprised to see that. I didn't think people were complaining about the pin light, but alright. Vine Surge, the skill can now strike a max of 5 enemies. And just since I happen to be on my Druid right now, Vine Surge is when they do Staff 4, and it does that. As you can see, it's a very narrow attack line, and it even has a delay. So it usually has trouble hitting even one enemy if you're in PvP. If you're in PvE, you wouldn't use it often, sometimes. In World v. World, though, if you were running from a blob and they were all chasing you, you could fire that backwards. And I'm guessing the problem is that it was like able to hit just a massive number of targets. Which I actually never knew. I knew that Staff 5 didn't have a target cap. I did not know that Staff 4 had a target cap. Okay. Pounce reduced the power coefficient from 2.2 to 2.0 in PvE. Untamed changes. Unleashed Wild Swing. Now, similar to the Hollow Sword, the Untamed Hammer acts differently on whether or not you are unleashed or not. So if you have a Druid or a Soul Beast using the Untamed Hammer through Weapon Mastery, they don't have access to all of its skills, so I believe they're making some changes because of that. Unleashed Wild Swing reduced the power coefficient slightly, PvE. Unleashed Savage Shockwave reduced power coefficient slightly in PvE. Relentless Whirl increased the power coefficient per strike from 0.7 to 1.0 in PvE. Death Strike increased power coefficient from 2.2 to 3.0 in PvE. Savage Slash increased power coefficient from 2.2 to 3.0 in PvE. Multi-Shot increased power coefficient from 2.0 to 2.5 PvE. Neurotoxin Burst doubled the power coefficient in PvE. Toxic Shot increased power coefficient from 1.0 to 1.8 in PvE only. Increased the Torment stacks from 3 to 4 in PvE. Ferocious Symbiosis increased the damage bonus per stack from 4% to 5% in PvE. Natural Fortitude increased base life steal damage from 1700 to 3500 in PvE only. Increased base life steal healing from 1700 to 3500 PvE only. Increased additional hit life steal from 294 to 586. Again, PvE only. Okay. Thief changes. Death's Judgment increased the power coefficient from 1.65 to 2.67. So dramatic change in PvE, and 1.11 to 1.339 in PvP 1v World. So a bit of a buff in all game modes, but much more drastic in PvE. Deadeye Malicious Death's Judgment increased the power coefficient from 1.65 to 2.67 PvE, and the same small numbers of PvP 1v World, but reduced the damage bonus per malice to 10% in all game modes. Fixed an issue that prevented scepter skills from granting malice. Fixed an issue that prevented malicious intent from interacting properly with malicious Shadow Squall. World Polish. Cats and other pets associated with the 2022 Extra Life charity donation incentives have appeared across Tyria. They are visible only while under the effects of the Chatoyant Elixir or Chatoyant Lens. Previous Extra Life things, and also like some April Fools and stuff like that, there were times when there was those like gigantic cats the size of skyscrapers around the world, but you could only see them if you use those items to be able to see them. And now I guess they are available to be seen again in the game. All right, so late notes. There was some stuff added later on in the day, which makes me glad I'm doing this the day after. General changes. You can now filter skins you've unlocked out of search results in the trading post, which is awesome for collectors. The unstable magical properties Restorer and Propagator now grant barrier rather than healing. Propagator now applies protection instead of regeneration. Improved equipment warnings. Equipment panel warnings have been significantly revamped to make it easier for players to determine whether their character's equipment is complete. Each equipment slot will display a red exclamation mark and a warning message in the tooltip when hovering over the slot under the following circumstances. And really quickly, I can show you here. If, let me see, if I go to this build. Okay, you see this red exclamation point down here, my harpoon gun? That is what it is talking about. So, you will see that if a slot is missing equipment, if the attributes have not been chosen for equipment with selectable attributes, equipment does not have any upgrades such as runes or sigils, the equipment is below exotic quality. That kind of cracks me up because I'm imagining someone leveling and they've just got those red exclamation points like the entire leveling phase. I hope not, like during the early game. Upgrades are below superior tier. Improved crafting functionality. Improvements have been implemented to help with the crafting use and navigation. The crafting interface has been revamped to better serve its intended purpose as a library of crafting recipes. The category menu now includes an All Professions category, which is selected by default and will display all recipes currently available to your character, regardless of their active crafting discipline. Selecting one of the 9 disciplines from the menu will filter the results to only display recipes from that discipline. I actually did not know about this change. Going into the game right now, the category menu. Let's see, if I go to crafting right now, I just see Huntsman and Weaponsmith. Do I have to be at a crafting station? Let's find out here. So I can click on both from there. Yeah, I'm not seeing that. But I could be doing it wrong. This is my first time trying that. 2 new options are available from the menu that appears when right-clicking any material that can be used in a crafting recipe. The Open Crafting Preview with Item option will open the crafting tab in your hero panel. The Open Crafting Station with Item option is available when you're near a crafting station, and it will open the crafting station's interface. Let's see if we could try that. So this character I happen to be on right now is a Huntsman. Let's see if I right-click on this. Yeah. From the menu that appears when right-clicking any material that can be used in a crafting recipe. So here's some orichalcum ore. Liquid logs. Yeah, I don't see those options. So I don't know if something happened there, but I do not see those options. They sound nice, but I don't see them yet. Both options will display recipes that require the item. For example, when right-clicking Mithril Ingots in your inventory and selecting one of the new options, the available crafting recipes will automatically be filtered to those that require Mithril Ingots as an ingredient. Sounds good. The options will not display crafting recipes that are unavailable at your current crafting level or that you have not learned. Fractal Dungeon changes. Silent Surf. The final boss's health has been reduced in challenge mode. All checkpoints now only require 2 players regardless of fractal tier. The misconvergence and toxic sickness instabilities have been removed from Silent Surf. I kind of like that. Like, it wasn't fun. It was kind of annoying when the giant tentacle would spawn and just cover half the platform, or you'd finally get the rare moments that you could hit the boss and you'd all have to, like, the throw-up mechanic on each other. You'd have to turn away. It was kind of annoying. So I would have been fine either way, but I don't hate that change. The game camera's field of view during the final boss encounter has been increased. Fixed an issue that caused Captain Thess to have an incorrect effect icon during the third encounter. Fixed an issue that prevented aspects from applying extreme vulnerability in challenge mode when striking with Dread Visage. Fixed an issue that allowed players to bypass World Cleaver. Again. Fixed an issue that would cause the final boss to focus on attacking pets more than intended. Fixed an issue that prevented the Peace and Quiet achievement from requiring completion on the Master tier, causing it to be inconsistent with the achievement description. This was all stuff from recently. This was yesterday, right? Yeah, it was. I swear we've read these notes on Silent Surf recently. I'm going to keep going in case there's something new here. Fixed an inconsistency with other challenge mode fractal encounters. Defeated characters can now be revived during combat. There was a lot of speculation that that fight was originally designed to be a strike and then changed to be a fractal, because there's some stuff for it that's on the strike merchant, and then also the fact that you couldn't revive people. So I think that this might back up that theory. Fixed an issue that allowed Frightening Speed to be blocked. Fixed an issue that caused Rending Storm to ignore evasion and invulnerability. Fixed a timing issue in the challenge mode version of Dread Visage's large eye warning effect that prevented it from detonating at the same type as the smaller eyes. Fixed an issue that could cause an aspect to return to the main platform during World Cleaver without selecting a new target for Phantasmagoria. Fixed an issue that caused aspects to interrupt themselves when a player was not eligible for a tether moved between the aspect and the primary target. Fixed an issue that caused aspects to react slowly when eligible targets for Phantasmagoria became available during World Cleaver's warm-up. Fixed multiple issues affecting phase transitions and the synchronization of Dread Visage attacks. The final boss and the aspects no longer will gain alacrity, regen, or quickness from stealing boons. Sugar Rush has been removed from the list of Mislike Village Silent Surf. Okay. Again, so the big issue with this is when the boss would steal regen. If he was, if he would get down to 66% or 33 and be phasing, and then regen would tick and he'd go back to 67, and then he would get knocked down again, he would do the whole phase again, the phase change again. And then the Sugar Rush and Alacrity and Quickness would make him do his I-beam attacks out of sync with the other mobs in the room. And so it looks like this is just how they chose to fix that. PvP and World v World Potions update. Potions of World v World rewards and potions of PvP rewards are no longer obtainable by players. Oh my, that's big. Any potions the players currently possess can be consumed. Excuse me. Recipes for guild hall upgrades requiring the potions have been changed. Instant reward track progress granted through World v World Skirmish reward track has been increased. Instant reward track progress has been granted, that has been added to PvP rank up chests starting at level 30. Rank 30, sorry. Items. Fixed an issue that caused Bling 9009 to count the number of times the player had completed Silent Surf challenge mode, rather than the daily completion of challenge mode when unlocking Last Words. Fixed an issue that caused Bling 9009 to return more than the list Silent Surf challenge mode completions for Last Words. And then another change that happened late in the day yesterday was bug fixes. Fixed a server crash, fixed incorrect cooldowns on various relics. These might have been re-enabled. Added missing relic text to 4 PvP relics. Fixed an issue, then the Wizard's Vault weekly meta reward bundle. Fixed an issue that prevented Archivist Icar from speaking to multiple... Oh my god, okay, really quick. So, I played through the whole story yesterday. There was only one part of the story that was just a buggy mess. And what it was is there was one NPC. I'll be vague, no spoilers. There's an NPC you had to talk to. And if you talk to him, he talks back to you. And it's one of those conversations you can't skip. Like, he's just talking. And he talks to you for like maybe 15 to 30 seconds. And then after the end of that, you get the quest thing checked off. However, if anybody else walked up and interacted with the guy, he'd stop talking to you and start talking with him. And so what resulted was players were screaming at each other one at a time, and there was a line of players going around this zone. It looked like a DMV. It was awful. I had flashbacks of Hogger from 10 years ago. Now, props to ArenaNet. That was like the only bad thing about the launch, and they patched it within like 3 hours, I think. This was that patch. So this guy's no longer a DMV. Fixed an issue that required players to own SotO to obtain the /bless emote from the Wizard's Vault. Fixed an potential issue that affected the Help Radonovans prepare for a party event in Skywatch Archipelago. And that's it. That is all of the patch notes that hit yesterday in 3 separate patches. Or 2, and they might have just had 3 separate posts. This is late notes. So this might have been 1 patch, and then this was the 2nd patch. But yeah, that is everything. If I missed anything relevant, as always, leave your questions, problems, thoughts, concerns down in the comment section down below. And I'll see you in the next one.